Hi everyone. So in our previous session, we looked at AWS well architected framework, right? And the concepts of IAM, AWS Identity and Access Management, configuring the command line interface, and then using the command line interface to create some buckets and manage the objects within the bucket, right? So all these things, how AWS well architected framework is telling about architectural best practices, right, for designing and operating in AWS cloud, right? So we looked at the various pillars, right? The operational excellence pillar, security pillar, reliability pillar, right? Performance efficiency pillar, cost optimization pillars, right? So these pillars are important for improving the operations, right? To deliver the business values, right? This is like your security pillar for related to protecting data, right? Resiliency, this reliability pillar is you can think about resiliency, right? So how you can keep your systems reliable and resilient. Performance related pillar, this talks about how we can use the computing resources efficiently, right? So, and last but not the least is cost optimization pillar, right? That talks about how we can avoid unnecessary expenses, unnecessary costs, right? So we looked at all these pillars, and then we looked at the identity and access management concepts, the keywords related to IAM, authentication, authorization, right? And then we did IAM hands-on, right? So in the hands-on, we learned about, right, how we can create administrator user, how, what about the policies, right, and all those concepts. Then we did hands-on for CLI, where we use the what access key and what secret key. Now you have today, it's about overview of storage services in AWS, right? And about the S3 in detail, right? To begin with, right? So we'll take a look at S3, that is simple storage services, about the security concepts in S3, right? Version control, you are aware of, you have done the basic hands-on initially. Replication, right? Transfer acceleration, CloudFront, storage classes, right? The various storage classes related to S3, lifecycle, policies for S3, then cost optimization related to S3. Now, after we finish this, then we'll also be looking at the other options related to storage, like Snowball, storage gateway, some questions to revise and consolidate our concepts. And then we'll continue with hosting a static website on S3 and replicating data across regions, right? We'll be doing some hands-on, and then S3 transfer acceleration, exploring lifecycle policy for data transfer to Glacier, right? So are we good to begin? Please confirm, Nataraj?
Yes, Harish, yeah.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So I was just showing you this particular slide. You might a bit familiar. Please go unmute, no? And then unmute whenever needed. So this AWS storage slide shows you about the basic storage options that we are having for our EC2, right? So about the EFS, about instance store, EBS, and S3. So all these things we'll be looking at in detail, right? So you will have the clear understanding. If you face any difficulty or if you get any doubts, right, so you can ask then and there, or you can ask at the end of the session, right? So please feel free to ask, right? So let's begin with the S3, right? So S3, as the name suggests, right, it's a simple storage service, right? So the name says simple, right? and it's really very simple, right? So you have seen the simplicity of AWS in the very beginning, when we were doing this S3, right? So simplicity of S3 you have seen, right? So we created a bucket, simply we went and then we clicked and everything we were doing. And then through CLI also we saw how we can create a bucket and use S3 simple storage service. So this is for known for its simplicity, right? So it's for object storage, right? And here all transfers will be happening through HTTP, right? Through the web only, right? Now the IO, that input output whatever happens, that will be sequential. It will happen in sequence, right? And then no, just look at this durability. So what do you understand by durability? Any understanding? Durable. You see here how many nines? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, right? So 11 nines of durability we call, right? So just think from very simple perspective, nothing technical or nothing no special. So durable means something which lasts long, right?
Yeah, long lasting, sustained.
Yeah, long lasting. Correct. So durable means long lasting, right? So exactly the same thing. So everything, all the terms, whatever you see, that will be general term and very simple terms used so that you have no confusion, right? So what happens here? You have 11 nines, right? So that means too much of durability. So more nines means more durable, right? So 99.99999, so much durable. So if you put your data in that S3, so it will be remaining there. It will last there for very long. If you might have encountered the CD-ROM drives or floppy drive before that, right? So you might have faced issues like when you store something in floppy drive and you don't know next time when you connect that floppy to the floppy drive, and then it might not work, right? So with CDs also we faced issues like some after some uses the data in CD drive is gone. So floppy's data in floppy is less durable. Data in CD is comparatively more durable with respect to that floppy. So like that. So that is what we talk about durability. So what happens? There will be multiple systems, right? And that objects will be copied, right? So that you have the data durability, more durability, and then 11 nines of durability. Now you talk about availability. So something which is available, right? Say like they say you be available at this place during that time, correct?
Yes.
That means you will be physically present there, right?
Yes.
So, or you say that, okay, you be available on your phone, right? Means, right? You are available, you are ready to take my call, correct?
Correct.
So, that is availability. So, very simple term, right? Again, availability means related to, right? The actual availability of the data. So data is available as and when you need it, right? It's not like today you need it and then tomorrow you get the data. So the availability of data whenever you want, according to that, data is available. If you want that today I will request and tomorrow you should be available, then that is also fine. Depends on the requirement, right? So if you want your data to be highly available, instantly available, so that feature is there. If you don't want like that, if you just want that, okay, today if I request and I get my data after a week, that is okay, then it's fine, right? So it's related to the retrieval of the data, right? So you put some data, you store some data, so that you in future you can retrieve it, right? You can use it. So for what percentage of time, right, data is available for us to be retrieved, right? So if it is 24/7 available, right, So that's a great thing. Say like, for example, if some patient visits hospital, right? And it's the, say like second time or third time the patient has visited. And then the, last time the patient had undergone some kind of laboratory test. And then the report, right, is available in the hospital system. So they say that reports will be saved there, and our doctors can access the reports, right, online, right? So now the patient is there, right? There is appointment, and no, doctor wants to look at the report, right? As soon as doctor clicks, if the report is not available, what will happen, right? What is the use of that data, right? The patient will be angry, and no, doctor cannot look at the report, then he cannot diagnose any solution, right? So like that, how critical it is, right? So the availability of data is very critical. As and when you need, it should be available, right? So like that. Now you look at this industry leading scalability. So by, again, something which is scalable means something whenever you require more of something, getting it? Whenever you demand for something, you want no something at no higher level, or so this scalability is related to ability, right, of any system to increase the resources to match the increased demand. So if demand is more, the resource should increase automatically. It's not like no demand is too much and the resource is very much limited. It's not increasing. Resource is not increasing. So that is not scalability. So this is industry leading scalability, right? So this S3 is infinitely scalable, right? So you just keep on putting the data. Don't worry, right? Right, about how much data you are putting there, right? The only thing is based on the need. Simply, if you keep putting, then what will happen? You have to pay for it, right or wrong?
Correct.
Right. So in the last session we were discussing sometime that what would be the size, right? So I was telling no, it will be in terabytes, right? So you can put the file no of up to 5 terabyte single file. Dharma, I think it was your question. Dharma, you can hear us?
Yes, Harish, I can hear you.
Yeah, perfect. So the individual object that you put in this S3 now, right? So that will be of up to 5 terabyte size. One file of 5 terabyte you can put. Now, actually, in single get and put request will be there, no? So in single put request, you can send 5 gigabyte, right? So what happens? There will be, I was telling that there will be parallel no upload. So there can be multi-part upload, right? And there will be multi-part upload API. Using that API, you might have heard about no REST API and all. So there will be multi-part API. Using that, no, or using CLI, we have been seeing that CLI, or using some software development kit. What we can do, we can upload no part by part, right? The single file can be up to 5 terabyte. The part of it will be uploaded in 5 gigabit chunks, right? Now look at the performance, right? So you have already seen the performance, right? As soon as I kept the data and you were able to access it, right? Nataraj, you remember performance? I put some data here in my system, through my system in S3, and then I gave you the I gave public access, and simply you accessed it through your website, correct?
Yes.
Through internet, yeah. So performance you have seen, and then it's like no the great performance it is having, and then about the security. So you have seen
Yes.
about the security what we have been doing, right? We have been doing something
Yes.
from our end also, right?
Yes.
Right. So we have to use the right permission, right, to keep our data safe. So we have to give permission. We gave permission to one user, and that user was able to delete our bucket. And then we revoked that permission, and then we only allowed for creating. Correct? So
Correct.
it's up to us, right, how we can manage, right, the security of the object. But who takes care of
Yes.
the security of the infrastructure, right? So AWS takes care of it, right? So we'll be looking at the model, how AWS operates, right, and how security works there, right? So we'll be looking at that. So you saw, like, no, it's mainly used for websites, mobile applications, backup and restore, for archival purpose, right? Enterprise applications use it, IoT devices, big data analytics, right? So it is for storing objects, right? And then we'll be looking at the various storage classes, and in detail we'll be looking at it. So just look at the security. We're talking about security, right?
Yes.
Look at this model, security model. So what does it say? Security is a,
Shared responsibility.
yes. In organizations also they say like that.
Hmm.
Security is a shared responsibility. Do they say?
No.
They will say when they give you training for cyber security. So they will tell
Yes.
you that security is a shared responsibility. Your system, whenever you find some email or something which you don't know, please don't click on the link. Correct?
Yes. Correct. Correct.
So that is again one person who is ignorant, he can click that link and download some virus. Correct? And then the entire network will be infected.
Yeah.
So security is a shared responsibility. Everyone has to participate in that, right? So that's what the fundamental thing they are telling. The security is a shared responsibility, and then they are giving some boundaries here, some clarity here, so that there is no confusion. So they say customer is responsible for security in the cloud. See, in double quotes. And AWS is responsible for security of the cloud. So now you see, just if you look at the cloud infrastructure as a as an entity, right? So for that infrastructure, for the cloud, right, who is responsible? AWS. But within that, whatever you are putting, right, so you are responsible for that. You have the permission, you have the privilege, right, to encrypt your data. You have the permission, right, to give permission or revoke permission. You can control who should have the access of your data, right? So this is very sensible, right? This model, shared security model, we call it as shared security model, right? Clear? So say, like,
Yeah.
for data, who will be responsible for your data? Whatever
AWS.
data.
It's me.
Yes, right? So say, like, EC2 instance, right? You are creating in AWS, and then in EC2 instance, your operating system, you have installed Windows or Red Hat. Now, who is responsible for the security of your that Windows operating system or Linux operating system that you have installed in EC2 instance?
That's for the customer.
Yes, the customer only. Who is responsible for IAM, identity and access management, that we have seen?
AWS.
IAM, who is responsible? Why AWS? They have given AWS tool to you. You
Yeah.
have to use it, right?
Correct.
That's also a customer.
That's also customer. But who is responsible, right, for the nobody should physically access the availability zones data center?
That's taken care by AWS.
Yeah,
Secured by AWS.
correct. The physical security. Then who is responsible for the router that is there in the infrastructure?
Infrastructure, everything comes by AWS.
Who is responsible for the CPU that is kept in the AWS? That CPU should not be accessible. by everyone? Who is responsible for storage?
AWS.
Who is responsible for that? No, the database services managed by AWS. So any kind of managed services, something which is managed by AWS, right? So whatever is running in the backend, right, for which you are not having access to, so simply understand that whatever access you are having, whatever things you can change, whatever things you can modify, whatever configuration you can look at, right? All those things you have to manage. If you have the right permission, you have the permission to change something, you have to take care of it. Okay, so entire
Okay.
what happens in case of S3?
So,
Yeah,
Harish,
yeah,
can we understand like this? Like all the physical appliances will be secured by AWS,
yes,
like a
all
data
the
center.
physical components definitely will be taken
Okay,
care by
okay,
them, and then the soft.
okay. And one more thing, like so, for example, now we have EC2 instance. We launched it. So, who will secure that instance actually, that RDP machine? So
we
within the machine, if you are install Windows or I mean some OS and all, or if you install some applications within the RDP machine, so
Yep,
that we will restrict with the user ID, IAM user ID, password, and also that only the privileged persons can access it. But
correct, and
who can secure that instance itself? I
we
mean
have to secure.
the
We only have to secure. You saw security group.
yeah, yeah.
So we will look at it in detail about the security group. But for
Oh, that
now,
only, right? That custom anywhere my IP, right?
yes,
Only these things.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
okay.
yes.
So
So
if you give anywhere, some third person
yes,
also, if you know this IP address, then third person also can access it, right?
yes, yes, you got it.
Okay,
You
okay, okay,
yes, you are on the no, correct track. So you are now you are able to relate, right? What should be
okay.
taken care by us, right? And you are thinking in the very right
Mm,
direction. You have the control to allow
mm,
everyone, right? So you are responsible
mm,
for it. Yes, you got it.
okay,
Yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah. So the firewall, the security group, right? The networking within your cloud, right? One server to another server, or one server should have the network access from outside, inside, all those things about the operating system, about the authentication, whether encryption is happening for your data or not happening, right? Who is accessing your server, or who is accessing your database, all those things, so your
Mm, mm,
applications that is running on that particular server, right? So everything will be, we have to manage. However, whatever CPU is there, right, connected to
mm,
that particular instance, right, or whatever storage in the back end, where we are storing the data, we don't know, right? We don't even know, right, where is the storage, what kind of storage. So
mm,
we have no responsibility for that. So whatever we can access and look at the configuration, we can modify that configuration, means we have to do it. If we cannot see, then it's not ours. That's it, right? So like that, it's really sensible model, right? And then you look at the version control. You remember? Can you recall something?
yeah, version we put a file in the S3, right? So after we put the same file, right, creates a version.
Yes, correct. Exactly the same thing. So here we're putting some early rise.gif, and here again early rise.gif, right? So some ID came like this and some another ID came later, right? So it will preserve, retrieve and restore, right, that information, right, using the version control option. So you have to
Yeah,
specifically allow the tick mark. You recall, Natras?
Harish, if you don't mind, I have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
questions.
Sure, sure,
So,
please.
so basically, will add a early rise.gif some file. Okay. So
Correct.
basically, I will modify that file. So if I modify, if I save it, so obviously version control will change, right? So is that the same or it's something different?
Same thing. When you try to put the file or save the, change, put the same name file one more time. See,
Okay.
if you
Yeah.
have whatever file is there, whenever you are making any change and saving it, so what is happening? Another,
Yeah.
like you, it's kind of some changes which might be, say like you by chance you deleted it. Say
Yeah.
like you had 100 lines and you deleted and saved.
Yeah.
So your data will not be gone, right? Because you have the version control system. So what will happen? You have no previous data available. You can retrieve it. So your data is safe. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you are preserving your data. It's just like that. You can just test it up. You have S3 up to 5 GB data you can store there. So you just test version control whenever you get free time. Just explore, right?
Yeah.
Whether nothing is wrong or right there. So just keep exploring all the possibilities. Just change something, delete something, do try something. So like that, you just try to modify and look at the version ID and then.
So, for example, in a particular time, in a particular minute, if we edit and save 10 times or more than 10 times, a number of times, so
Yeah,
all the files will be displayed separately, right? So whichever you
correct.
want to open it, we can open it. So we can see all the versions. If
Yes,
we modify
that's
10 times, we can see the 10 times, right?
yes. You save 10 times, then you will have 10 modifications. You just
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, 10 versions.
yep.
Yeah.
So like you can see this is happening in box also. Different version you are no when you are putting another file, same name. What is happening in box? Same thing. Google Drive, same thing. So
Hmm.
exactly the same thing would happen in S3 also.
Okay.
So we can again no do hands-on for that. So whenever we are going to S3 in some time, so again I'll show you right about
Yeah.
the version control. Now you look at the replication and just tell me what it should be. Just think of it and with the name automatic copying of
Objects.
object across S3 buckets.
Yeah.
So you remember while using CLI, we were copying data from one bucket to another bucket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, if we do it automatically, if we just put some mechanism where data will be replicated from one bucket to another bucket based on certain criteria or based on certain rules or something, or entire bucket may get synchronized. Just mute when you have a question, please unmute. So it's about the automatic copying of objects across the S3 buckets, right? So you have two types of replication. One is what? Cross region, another is same region replication, right? So it's possible, right, with the same accounts bucket or different accounts bucket also. This part of this copying, if I want, I can copy my bucket's content to your bucket's content also. My bucket to your bucket, and then my one bucket to mine another bucket. So those features also there. Now you have cross region replication where meet compliance requirements, minimize latency, increase operational efficiency. So what is cross region replication? Replication from a bucket in one region to the bucket in another region, right? So you understand region concept, right? The physical location, right?
Yeah.
Geographic location. So from one region to another region, you can copy, you can replicate the data from one bucket in one region to bucket in another region. Here it is same region replication means what? Both buckets in the source bucket, destination bucket, both in the same region. Correct? So same region replication. So there can be different use cases, right? For cross region replication and same region replication. So depends upon the need. What kind of need you are having, what kind of requirement is there. So based on that, say like here it says like meet compliance requirements, right? So if compliance requirements say that data copy must be stored at a very far location, the distance between the copies of data should be say like 50 kilometers or 100 kilometers or 1000 kilometers or 2000 kilometers. So depends what is the compliance requirement, because data, if you're keeping another copy, you're keeping in the same area, in the same town, some flood comes, some earthquake comes, some problem happens there in that particular city, what will happen? Your data will be compromised, the copy will also be compromised, right? So your business will go down, that's it. So for some compliance reason, they'll say, okay, you have to put your data, keep the copy of your data at that particular level, then only you are compliant, right? Understanding, right?
It will be better, right, if you maintain cross-region replication, because if
Uh,
any natural disasters happen, so
yep,
our data will be safe, right?
correct. So that is just like now in one particular use case. There can be use case where you have to go for same region replication also. So here in this case, it is better. It's
Yeah.
not like cross region replication is better than same region replication. It's not like that. If for a particular use case, for a particular need, for a particular requirement, for a particular situation, a particular scenario, this may be good. For some particular scenario, the other one may be better, right? So here, right? So minimize latency. Just tell me what it may be. Latency means,
The network delay.
yeah. So if it is low, it is good. As less as, right? So that is better. So now kind of understand like round trip time, right? So it will be based on how fast your data can be transferred from server to client, from client to server, from customer to S3, from S3 to customer. So it's kind of how much latency. Now say like you are running, operating some business in India, your headquarter is here. Now you are another branch you have opened in say like some another country, maybe US. So what happens now? Your customers are there in US and your customers are there in India also, right? So mainly in India, but you have some places in US where you have your customers. Now you have taken a bucket here in India, Mumbai region, and you have kept it here. Now your data is there in Mumbai region. So they have to access it from US. So latency will be less or more?
More.
Yes, latency will be more. Is that good or bad?
Bad.
Correct. You got it. So in order to minimize the latency, in order to improve the performance of data retrieval, right? What you should do, you put one bucket, right, in US also. Now, whatever data is there for customer in India, same data they require. This bucket, whatever you are having in Mumbai region, you copy that thing automatically to the bucket in US, so that the people in US, they access their data from the bucket that is there in US region. Clear? This,
Yes.
yeah. So like that. So think in that situation, CRR only is useful. SRR will not help, right? So like that, operational efficiency. If you want, your systems to be more efficient or something, right? Some kind of compute clusters are there in two different AWS regions, right? You want to analyze, the data, right? In same data you are having, and you want to analyze into different regions, right? So what you can do, you can copy the data in the same set of data. Two different a set of people will be analyzing it in two different places, right? So they can operate it faster. So kind of that. So there can be many situations, many scenarios where this may be useful. SRR, you think, aggregate logs into a single bucket. What does it mean, aggregating logs in the single bucket? You have logs in one bucket, right? You have some branch offices, you have some franchisees or something. Now you have, in the same country you are operating. In India only you have, say like three branch offices in different cities, correct? Say like now you have just think of Hyderabad and think of Mumbai. Okay, so as of now you have only what do you call that only
Availability
Mumbai region,
zone.
right? You have only Mumbai region as of now. So think of Mumbai region, same region, right? So in Mumbai you have say like 3 data centers, correct? In the Mumbai region. Now, what happens is all your customers are in India only. Okay, so for Mumbai region. Now, in that situation, think of different branches. So you want to give them right different buckets. Let them have different buckets. Okay, so they have their own systems. They have their own infrastructure in 3 different cities, maybe in Bangalore, Hyderabad, and New Delhi. Now they all will have their own bucket. They have their own data, right? And you are operating from some head office in Mumbai. So there you want to aggregate, club all the data, all the logs, everything in one bucket, right? Can we do replication from all those individual buckets to the main bucket? Possible? You understood? Situation, scenario, right? So if you are having different buckets, right, where you are having some individual data, you want to club it. You can club in a single bucket. Which one will be useful? Same region or cross region, Natras?
It will be same region is useful.
Yeah. So in that case, if you put one bucket in US or Europe, will that be useful?
No.
Because all your customers, all your data, everything endpoint in India only, right?
Yes.
So like that only, like that only. So configure live replication between production and test account. So usually you might have seen in our organizations, like we'll have what? Some kind of production and some kind of test accounts, right? So
Yes.
2 different accounts you are creating, say like, in AWS, one is for production and one is for test. Okay.
Yes.
Now you, in the same region, you are having the production and test. You want to do some kind of replication for kind of doing some kind of operation on those data, right? So you want to replicate, right? Possible. Usually, no, it will not happen production to test or something, because they will keep it different. However, for some data analysis, if you want to do some kind of copy, you can do it.
Yeah.
Abide by data sovereignty laws. This, can you relate? You heard about some GDPR or something? Some kind of compliance requirement where you must store your data within the same country. Your data should not go out of your country.
Yeah. Correct.
So if there is a law, right, the law of the land, that your data should not go to another country, and you use CRR, that's it. Company will close only.
Yes, correct.
So in that case, we have to follow the legal aspects. The data should not go to the, cross the border. That's it. So those kind of stringent laws are there, right? In that case, what to do? Same region replication, right? So initially we had only cross region replication. So later, AWS came up with same region replication also, and it was like demand of the people, right? And this is like very much useful, right?
Yeah.
So you understood. So we will do some hands-on on this as well, right? So in some time, right?
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, a small clarification.
Please tell me.
See, now in India, Mumbai is the region, right? So now I think I think you said that Hyderabad become another region for India, or maybe it's availability zone. Region, right?
Region, yeah.
So there will be 2 regions, right? Now.
True. So there are many regions in, same country.
So in each region, there will be availability zones, right? That's what we call it as data centers.
Minimum of 3 availability zones.
Okay, that is the thing we are called as data centers, right?
Cluster of data centers. Each availability zone will be called as cluster of data centers. So it's like logical data center you can call. Availability zone means you just understand like data center. That should be okay to relate. But exactly if you see, right, it won't be one single data center also, right? Nearby, you will have a couple of data centers, two, three data centers, and they will be, connected with less than 10 millisecond latency. So it's kind of you relate availability zone to data center, right? So availability zone kind of logical data center term for data center, and then region would be kind of physical or geographical location in which you will have the availability zones, right? So minimum of right 3 availability zones are there, right? So yeah.
For example, Hyderabad, maybe they create Vijayawada, Chennai, Bangalore as
Yes.
a availability zone, right?
Not Chennai. Yeah, maybe like they can.
No. I'm just for understanding. I am asking. It's not real.
Yeah, for Hyderabad, they will say like they will take some Vijayawada, they will take some Kurnool, they will take some other place. Nataraj can suggest.
Guntur.
Yes. So
okay.
Right?
So these places they check they choose it as a availability zone. The 3 places.
Yep.
And within the availability zone, there will be cluster of data centers, right?
Within the availability zone, there will be data center. That availability zone itself is a kind of name for data center. So cluster of data center equivalent to availability zone, just like that you can say. So just think of data center and availability zone as same, so that you will not have any confusion. So, but it's not like single data center or single building, right? It will be multiple. Now they will be connected with very high speed connections. So just
the availability zone,
yeah.
for example, in Kurnool or Guntur, for example, in Kurnool, they are setting up the availability zone.
Yep.
So not only single building, there will be one or two, three buildings.
They will set up
in
the big area.
Okay.
Yep.
Understood.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem. So now you have the replication, replicate objects while retaining metadata. So there is a concept of metadata, right? So this term maybe you may not be familiar with something. So metadata means the data about the data. So data about the data, say like you have the data, you have some file where you have kept some information. Okay, Natras? So say like it is a text file, right? And it has a size of say like 1 MB, right? So the size of 1 MB, when it was created, this was the date and time of creation. So all those information about the file, right, will be called as metadata, right? So replicate objects while retaining the metadata. Yeah.
Can you little bit more brief about metadata? I really didn't.
No problem. So this just term is new for you, but this is the same thing already. So I'll just tell you. Say like one file you are having. That file is having a size of 5 megabyte.
Yeah.
Another file is having a size of 1 megabyte.
Yeah.
Another file is having a size of 500 kilobyte.
Yeah.
So that 500 kilobyte, 1 megabyte, 5 megabyte, all those things are feature of individual files, right?
Correct.
Now that file you are creating, you are the owner or something of that file.
Yeah.
Right? You are the owner, and another person maybe the owner of another file. Correct? So that owner, who is the owner? That is data or meta? That is data or data about the data? What is the data in the file? You have written some story.
Yes.
That story is the data, correct?
Correct.
When it was created, that file, that is not a data, correct?
Correct.
But metadata.
That is metadata. So data about the data. So whatever is the main data, right? Okay. So some information.
File size, file created, file owner. So all these things.
It's a property of the file. Property of the file, right?
Yeah.
Property of the data. Yes. You got it. You got it.
Yeah.
So that is metadata. So now when you are doing replication of the object, right? When you are so there will be more metadata, some user control metadata, some system control metadata. So that I will show you, right? So for now you understand whatever is the property or the attribute of that particular data, right? So that will also be saved, that will be retained. It's not like you will lose that. So that information is also replicated, right? It depends on you. You want to go for that file to go with the same owner, it will go as the same owner. Or if I am copying my file to your bucket, right, I want my ownership to be there, that attribute, it will go as my attribute. If I say that no, go and change it as based on the destination, like whosoever is the owner of that bucket, just change like that, become like that, it will become like that. So that control also we are having, right? So it can retain the metadata as well. Now, if you look at the another point, replicate objects into different storage class. So very soon we are going to take a look at different types of storage classes that S3 is having, right? So then you can relate that how the objects, right, can move from one storage class to another storage class while doing the replication. So when there will be different category, so you just remember the availability we were talking about, how much data is retrievable, when we can, how much time it will take to retrieve, or what kind of data you are storing, whether it is just some kind of data which you don't want now to access for another 5 years. So based on all those criteria, right, or you want day and night, no, you want to retrieve that data. So based on all those criteria, we have different classes of storage classes for storing data. So this is I will show you, and then while doing replication hands-on, we will see that how the objects can be replicated, right? And then while doing the replication, how we can change the class of the storage class of that particular data, right? So then it will be more clear. So in a couple of minutes we will look at it. Maintain object copies under different ownership. So I just telling, right? So how it is able to retain the metadata, right? So you can maintain the object copy of the objects under different ownership. So what I will do, I will just copy my data, my objects from my bucket, and it will be copied to your bucket. So you are the owner of your account that you have created. I am the owner here. You are the owner of your bucket. I am the owner of my bucket. But still, say like you may be, a service partner for me, or maybe a vendor, or maybe a customer, right? So depends on the situation, right? Scenarios, right? Whatever is the need, based on that, it is also possible to maintain the copy of the object under different ownership, right? The copy you will be owning, your copy you own, my copy I own. That's it, like that. Now replicate objects within 15 minutes. So you have option, right, to replicate the objects within 15 minutes, right? Whatever may be the situation, right? So if there will be option to replicate it faster as well, right? So usually it takes very less time, but even in the worst case, and if you want it faster, so that is also possible. You have all the feasibilities, so that options and all we'll see. Okay. So another concept, right, for transfer acceleration, S3 transfer acceleration. So as we have been discussing, right, about availability zones and regions and all those things, right? So you just see it says transfer files over long distances between client location and S3 bucket, right? So what happens is AWS has its own fiber connections, right, for connecting the various different regions also. Got it, Dharma? So we have our availability zones, right? We have our data center buildings in that availability zones, and like that we have different regions, right? In different regions we have all the availability zones connected to each other, and then we have the regions, right, which are connected to different regions, right? So they have their own fiber connections, right?
Yes.
Now think of a situation, right, where we have to move data between regions, right? One region to another region. right?
Yes.
Or over a very large physical distance, very long distance, right? So we can use Amazon's backbone, right? Not the normal internet, right? So we can use Amazon's backbone. That no, they have their own fiber connections, right? Obviously, that fiber connectivity, whatever is dedicated there, that will be much more faster, correct?
Yes.
So that is the situation here. So AWS can optimize, right, the path through which our data goes, right, so that the latency, right, will be less. Latency will be less, right? Means the performance will be high, right? So use Amazon's CloudFront's globally distributed edge locations. Now different term. CloudFront you heard?
No.
No. So we'll be discussing about CloudFront, right? So it's using the CloudFront's globally distributed edge locations. So there are no edge locations, points of presence, right? Where no CloudFront is there in the backend. That feature of CloudFront is used by this transfer acceleration. So next thing is CloudFront. So we'll come back to that. Now, from edge location, data is routed to Amazon S3 over an optimized network path, right? So it will be from the edge location. How data will go to S3? It will not be through normal path. It will be through optimized path. What kind of path? Optimized, right? Some special, right? So that network will be faster. Latency will be lesser, right? So this will be useful, right, in a situation where, right, transfer files over long distances. So when it will be useful? More distance, larger the distance from the source to the destination, right? So that will be beneficial, right, for long distance. Otherwise it's not required. So transfer acceleration will be required when there is a need to transfer data between very long distances. Now you must have heard about CDN, not CloudFront, but CDN, content delivery network. You heard?
No.
Akamai, anybody heard Akamai? Akamai organization? No?
Yeah, organization we got. Akamai, yeah, I heard it, but yeah.
Okay, okay. So they have they have been there just CDN, right? So content delivery network. CDN means what?
Content delivery network.
Content means what?
Data.
And delivery means transfer, correct?
Yeah.
So it's kind of CDN service, content delivery network service. From one place to another place, it will transfer, it will deliver the content. So that is CDN, content delivery network. You have some data here and you will make a copy somewhere else. So whatever is the content, that will be distributed. Content will be distributed, right? So that what will happen? The latency will be low. Say like you are in different location, I am in different location. I have my system here. If I have to access my data from my system, it will be fast, right? If it is the same data is there in your system also, right? So you will access it, it will be fast for you. If you have to access data from my system, it will take time, right? So what it will do, right? It will copy, right, the information, the data, whatever is relevant, whatever people are looking for, right? So there will be different edge locations, there will be different places, right, nearer to the customer, nearer to the end users, and the data will be copied there, right, so that they can access it faster, right? So this CloudFront, right, is a type of content delivery network offered by AWS, right, where it will distribute the contents, right, to different edge locations. Okay, so what happens actually, I will just take a whiteboard to explain this. So just think of the server, right? My whiteboard is visible to you, right?
Yes, Harish.
Okay, okay. So think of
Yes.
this as a server, and on this server you have a website running. Okay, this is in your data center, or this is in your office, or maybe at your home, wherever. So you have the website running on your server. So this is original, I'll say it, original server, and here website is running, right? Now whatever is the content of the website, so that is there in your server only, right? So this is to begin with, you got a server, you purchase a server, and you have your website running in that server. From here, right, you have AWS CloudFront. So you have AWS CloudFront, right? So they have their own different edge locations. So what will happen, whatever is the content that will be uploaded here, just think like that. So it's delivering the content here, right? It's going, the content is getting copied to CloudFront, AWS CloudFront. Now what will happen, there will be some edge locations, say like they're talking about edge locations. So not one edge location, say like edge location 1, you have edge location 2, you have edge locations maybe 3. So this is kind of physical location where you have the data center, right, and you have the proxy servers there, right? So think of like that, and then here, from here, the data will be going, whatever is the content is there, so that content will go there to the edge location, right? And what they will do, they'll create some cache, right? From here it will go to another edge location and they will create cache. So think of, say like this edge location is in US. This edge location, you think it is in Europe, right? Now this is in India, right? Now how you access a website and it is so fast, right? So if it is stored in one particular location, it won't be so much faster, right? So it will be cached. Whatever is the information, whatever is the content, that will be very fast. Sometimes when you use that any particular website and again you open after half an hour, is it faster?
Yes,
Say
because
like
of
you open
caching.
some
No,
website,
no.
and the same website you open after 10 minutes in the same browser. So what happens, your browser is also doing some caching.
Yes.
It will cache the data, it will download all things, it will be there. When you delete that history or something, then all contents will be deleted, right? It will say like offline data, delete this data, delete cookie, delete that. So then again it will download everything. Then it will go to ISP, and from ISP, right, whatever cache, whatever is there in the proxy there, right, so that from there it will download. So if some information is not there, then it will go to the original website, and from there it will get downloaded. So accordingly, what happens, kind of cache, the concept of cache is always there, even in your system, right? When you try to retrieve a file from your hard disk, what happens, when you just try to double click on a file, right, what will happen, the content of the file will go in the RAM, in the physical memory, right? In the physical memory, it will create a cache. Once you are accessing the file, and next time if you access the same file, it will be quick. You just notice that. Just try to access one file, run the MS Word for the first time and open a file, and then close it, and then again open it. It will be faster, right? So how it happens, right? It will create some kind of cache. So everywhere you will find that caching mechanism, right? To make things faster. Similar to that, just think in a very big way, right? So what happens? This is called origin. This particular thing is called origin, right? So your website, the original server, wherever it is hosted, so that is the origin. From origin, right, it is going to the CDN, the content delivery network. So it's going to the cloud front, and the cache is getting created in edge locations from where the end users will be accessing it in that area, right? So it will be faster for them, right?
Yes.
If they have to come all the way to your server to get the data, right, will it be fast?
No.
No, right? So if this user wants to access data from your machine, it has to come. Your server itself may be slow. Your server will hang also. If there are 1 lakh user connecting to this one particular server, your server will also hang, right?
Yes.
Somebody will do some kind of DOS or DDoS attack also, right?
Yeah.
Lot of things can happen, right? If you have only your server and serving to lakhs of users, right, definitely it will be having a lot of challenges, right? Performance will be degraded. So a lot of
Correct.
things. Now if you are using this cloud front, your data is getting copied and then it is nearer to the user, to the end user, right? So that they can access from their respective edge location, which is just nearby, right? So latency will be low. Latency will be very low. Understood? Cloud front.
Yes. Yes.
Right? So now let's go back and just try to relate here, right? So the cloud front, security, low latency, high transfer speeds, developer friendly environment integrated with AWS. You can understand all these things? Relate?
Yes.
All these features we are getting from where? From the cloud front. And now go back to the previous slide. Now you look at this point. What does it say?
Uses Amazon CloudFront globally distributed edge locations. Yeah.
Right. So now you can relate that this particular cloud front is the back end for transfer acceleration.
Acceleration. Yes.
Right. So if they use cloud front for doing transfer acceleration, in case you have to transfer data, right? So these edge locations, wherever your data is data center, that data is getting copied, right? So it will be very fast. They will use the backend, they will use the backbone, right, of AWS, the fiber connections and the data centers, the edge location from one place to another place. Data will be copied, right, and then that will be distributed. From there, they will pick it, right? So these kind of very huge and robust and perfect infrastructure they are having, right?
Yeah.
Finally, right, what we have been talking a lot about, right? So that is storage classes. Just think, storage classes, just recall what it is. What is storage class?
Frequently
That's all
accessed.
about the storage. Different types of storage.
Yep, different types of options, right, for storing the data, different classes, right? So what happens, for example, if you look at this S3 standard, you see different types of options. If you look at this S3 standard, what does it say? Frequently accessed data, right? If you look at this IA means infrequent access, long-lived infrequently accessed data. So you want data to live longer. Live longer means what it talks about the durability, right?
Yeah.
Data should live longer means durable. So you see here also long lived, here also long lived, here also long lived, right? So about the life there is no concern. Life of data, there is no concern. What is more important is they are saying here frequently access data. Here they are saying infrequently access data. So can you relate here with frequently and infrequently?
Yes, yes.
Right. So what happens? This S3 standard, this is the default one, right? So
Yeah.
this has the highest level of durability, as we have been discussing, as well as the availability. So data availability is related to data retrieval. Think of this example that we were discussing about the patient sitting nearby doctor, or patient in ICU, where no doctor has to another doctor has come who doesn't know the history of the patient, and he has to give some injection immediately, and he has to know what all kind of medicines this particular patient can have reaction with, right? And then he tries to access the data in S3, and then he doesn't get that information, right? What will happen to patient? Patient will die only, right?
Yes.
Immediately the data should be accessible without any delay, right?
Yes.
You can think of this S3 standard, right, where your data is highly available as and when you want it, right? And it has 11 nines of durability and 4 nines of availability per year, right? So this S3 standard is the default one. Now you look at the infrequent access data. So there can be some data which you don't want to access frequently. Possible?
Yes.
Say like one biodata, right? You create and then you keep it, right? Do you want to access it day and night, every day, every
No,
moment? No, right?
not at all.
Simply you kept it. Whenever you just think after a few couple of years, 2-3 years, 4-5, whenever you think like, okay, no, now it's time to switch, right? It is I want some I didn't get the desired hike, or I didn't get the desired role, or it's boring, right? So that time you think, okay, now it's time to look at my biodata, right? So that time you just think, so maybe you can put it in infrequently access category, IA, right?
Yeah.
Obviously this will be cheaper as compared to that one. You can
Yes.
save on cost, right?
Yes. Yes.
So you have to think of the data. We discussed about the well architected framework in the very beginning, right? So we just know there we saw performance efficiency pillar and cost optimization pillar, right? So if we want, right, what kind of thing, how we can optimize, right, based on the performance or based on the cost, right? So if we put our biodata in frequently accessed data, right, are we concentrating on AWS well architected framework?
No.
No, we are not looking at the cost optimization pillar, right? We are no unnecessarily paying more money, right, for something which we could have avoided. So in that case, we should put that here. Now you see long lived data with changing or unknown access pattern, intelligent tiering. So something which is intelligent tier. So different tiers. This is intelligent one. So intelligent one, what does it do? Long-lived data with changing or unknown access pattern. You don't know. You don't know what kind of data is that, right? So everything we may not be knowing, right? So
Yes.
in future only you will come to know. Say like we started with some business or something, we don't know what kind of data is that, whether we will require it every day or we may not require it or what. So based on all those things, right? So we can put it in intelligent tiering. Say like we have like 100 files, we put it in intelligent tiering. What will happen? Say like if you are every day, if you are accessing some particular data, right, 10 times, so those data will be here. Those data will go to S3 standard class, frequently accessed data. It will be going to that particular storage class automatically. Now the remaining 80% of data which you are not accessing frequently, that will move to infrequently accessed data category automatically. Understood?
Yes.
So what is the difference? Here also long lived, here also long. So what happens here also, you have the same durability, 11 nines of durability, here also 11 nines of durability. However, the availability would be here how much? 4 nines, 99.99. 4 nines means 99.99. 99 here. Here it will be 99.9. So it will be 99.9. 3 nines. Here if you go, so what will happen? Intelligent tearing. Some data it will tie with this one. Some data it will connect to this one. So what will happen? You will be your data will be switching between these two. Some of the data here, some of the data automatically based on the uses. You have noticed somewhere like this. In system, you will have some frequently accessed files. When you go to a start menu, something you try. You have tried. You have seen. Frequently accessed files will be listed.
Yeah. Correct. We'll get in the
list
top.
of all the files, right?
Correct. Yes.
Which we recently accessed.
Yes, exactly.
Or like that. So somewhere you will find related. It's all natural, general concept. It's nothing very special. However, very simply, they have looked at the real life situation and scenarios, and then accordingly they have given the option. So this intelligent tearing data is there. So now what will happen when your data is there in intelligent this IA, some of the data, 80% of data is there in infrequent access category, 20% data is there in standard one. So what will happen? You will pay higher amount for 20 files.
Yes.
For 80 files you will pay a lower amount, right?
Yes.
So average will be low, right?
Yeah.
So there will be little bit of monthly charge for automation, little bit of automation fee, right, for moving things here or there. But if you just calculate, if you just look at the benefit, you'll find that intelligent tearing is cost effective. So whenever there is unknown kind of pattern, that is useful, because unknown means you cannot put everything in this standard one, right?
Yes.
Or you cannot put everything in infrequent also, right? If you put everything in infrequent, it is not good. If you put everything here, you will pay more. So as compared to S3 standard, this intelligent tiering will be cost effective for sure. Okay. Now look at one zone IA, right? So long-lived, infrequently accessed, non-critical data. So your data sometimes may not be critical, right? Which can be replicated, say like your name, right? Your address, your some date of birth, or something which is like your previous organization, right? So a lot of things related to that. You have some data that right? Even if that data is lost, can you create it?
Yes.
Yes. So, but you don't want to create it. You don't want to you want to keep that data also. So you want to infrequently access it, and it is not very much critical. The business will not go down. Right? Just for example, I have told. So so think of some data which is not very critical, which can be replicated, right? And so you can put it in single availability zone. So by default, your data will be replicated across multiple availability zones, right, within the same region. However, here it will be kept in what? One zone. It will be kept in one zone. So we have been talking about availability zones, right? So other classes, right, whatever other classes that we are seeing, right, so they will be storing data in minimum of 3 availability zones. The standard, if you put, so don't think that it will be kept in one particular server. Multiple servers in one data center, and then data center also like collection of buildings, right? So in one building, maybe another building also another some data maybe, right? And then that from that availability zone, it will be replicated to another availability zones available in that particular region. So minimum of 3 availability zones, your data is getting copied here without even you knowing it. You don't know. You are not doing it. See, you are doing replication, no, that is separate for your personal use. But whatever they are copying, right, so that is by default inbuilt. That's why they are improving that long longevity of the data, right? So they are doing it in the backend. You are putting something in S3 and they are replicating it automatically in 3 availability zones. But this one is one zone. They will not replicate. They'll keep in only one zone. If that particular zone, right, that availability zone is offline, some problem happens in that availability zone, which will never usually that will not happen, right? any entire availability zone will not finish, right? But what if that zone finishes? That zone becomes offline, right? There is some problem, some fire, right? Some building crashes, something happens, some war happens, something happens, I don't know. But this in one zone, if that zone is gone, then what? Your data is
Lost.
lost. Got it?
Yes.
So here 99.5% availability is still there. 99.5% almost. Right? This also 99.99, right? 99.9 and then 0.5 or something. Now you have the concept of glacier. Just look at this glacier. What is glacier? You heard of glacier? Tell me. Normal glacier. Ice.
Mountain. Ice.
Normal glacier.
Ice mountain.
Yeah. Mountain of ice, right? Right. So that just think of that, right? So we are not usually going there, right?
Yeah.
Right. So those are something like that from they have given name like glacier, right? So long-term data archiving with retrieval times ranging from minutes to hours. So what if they put data in glacier? If I put something in glacier, can you get it immediately?
No.
Just think,
Mm.
right? So put the data in, throw the data in glacier. Okay. Let it be, let it freeze. Let it be there lying, right? Because we don't want it, right? We don't want it for now, but it is kept there, in the freezer, right? If we need, we can take, right?
Yes.
Only thing is, we have to keep it out for some time, right? It may take some time.
Yeah.
So if you are keeping something in the glacier, right, somewhere, right, very far away, where you are telling them that this data is this data is we don't want long-term data. So for archival purpose, this is for archival purpose. You want to archive it for long term. You want to keep it for 1 year. 1 year, I don't want this data. I know that I don't want it. That's it. So you can put that in a glacier, right? And there is concept of deep glacier also, right? So there is another S3 glacier deep archive. In the deep glacier you put it. Okay. So what will happen there? Long-term data archiving with the retrieval times ranging from minutes to hours, right? And here archiving rarely access data with the default retrieval time of 12 hours. So whenever, say like patient data for the hospital, will you put in glacier?
No.
No, right? They will come back, they will give you data after 12 hours.
Yes.
That will not help, right? So it will be, say like this glacier used for long-term archiving purpose, right? Right, for infrequently access data, right? This one you don't want to access it very frequently. Now deep archive would be archiving rarely access data with default readable time of, so this is even deeper. This will be even cheaper. Whatever, right? This situation, this will be even cheaper, the cheapest option, right? So here some financial or some kind of medical related organizations, right? So they have some rules. They have there is some kind of law that they have to keep some information, right? They cannot delete that information, right? So they don't need it, but there is legal requirement that they have to keep, they have to archive some data, they have to keep it, and if there is any court case against them, right, or any kind of any problem, right? So those financial organizations, they have to show that data, right? Say like they are saying on their website, okay, that we are giving loan on interest rate of 10%, and tomorrow, right, or after maybe some time, and I take a loan, and then after maybe 1 year they change it to 11%, and they start charging me for 11% for last year also. Then I say, no, no, on your website it was there for 10%. They say, no, no, it was 11% last year. Then I just file a complaint against them. Then they have to produce, right, the content of the website, what was there 1 year ago, right? From where they will bring it? From deep glacier, if they have archived it, correct? If they don't archive, right, it is their problem then. It's not our problem. So legally they are at wrong. So legal requirement will be there. So like that, no? So they can use this. This RRS is not recommended, not used usually. So this is a kind of non-critical data in frequently accessed, but non-critical data. So this is not, nobody uses it. I think they might have removed also. I'm not sure. Okay, so this is, I think, okay, so we have still time, right, for break, right? Yeah, we can continue, right?
Yes.
Dharma? Fine to continue, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, Garish.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Take a break at 11:30.
11:30 will take a break. Perfect.
Yeah.
So just take a look at this
Yeah,
life
okay.
cycle policy. Set of rules that define actions to be applied by S3 on a group of objects. Right? So here you see transition action, expiration action. Transition action. Define when objects transition to another storage class. Expiration action. Define when objects expire. Now, just think, when you have one particular bucket, right? You have another particular bucket, right? Or no, you have some data in your bucket, right? So what all things you are doing? You are doing some kind of replication. You are doing some kind of you are keeping your object in a particular storage class, right? Whatever storage class we have seen here, right? So if you are putting some data in S3 standard, from there you want the data to move to infrequent access because it will be cheaper. Say like if some file is coming for 1 month, you want to access it very frequently, right? And after 1 month it is of no use, right? And then you want to move it to infrequent access. Say like your some statement comes for electricity, some bill comes, or some kind of credit card, debit card, some statement comes for that year. It might be that month, it might be more relevant, right? You have to pay the bill for that card, right? Something. So that month you want to keep it for 1 month or something, for 30 days or for 15 days, right? And then you don't want it very, maybe you need it later after 1 year to analyze your cost, your expenses and all. So you can put it in infrequent access category, right? And you don't want to do it manually for each and every object. So you want to define certain criteria where you will just put some data, and then you will just mention that, okay, these particular data of this bucket or this particular tag. You remember tag?
Yes.
So whatever objects are tagged like this, right, or whatever things. So based on that tag or based on that bucket, you just move the data, right, that object from this category to that category, so that I can save on some cost. You can so that will be a transition. Transition means what? From one storage class to another storage class, right?
Yes.
It's transitioning, right? Now expiration means what? Expiration means
It's expired.
data should expire.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't want that data. Say like there is a rule that no data should be kept for 7 years or 10 years by the financial organization. After that, they can't. They want to do?
It will be deleted or it will be expired.
Yeah, deleted. So they cannot keep it for 100 years, right? They have to pay for it, right? So they will say like they will set some action that, okay, for 30 days, keep that data in standard class, right? And then it should transition to another storage class after 30 days. From standard class, it should go to infrequently accessed class, right, after 30 days. And then after, say, like 1 year, it should go to, after, say, like 180 days or 6 months, it should go to glacier. And then after another 180 days, it should go to deep glacier. And then it should expire, it should be deleted after 10 years. Possible?
Yes.
So transition action and expiration actions, right? So
These
we
are all
can
the
define,
rules we are going, I mean,
we will
we
define.
can set, we can
Yeah.
define.
Yeah. So set of rules that define actions to be applied by S3 on a group of objects. So that is called life cycle policy. So this rule we will define what action is to be taken and when, and then that is called life cycle policy. We can define the rule and it will be automated.
Is there any standard policy by AWS?
There is nothing like that. It will remain in the same class. By default, it will be in that standard class.
Okay.
It will remain there only.
Okay.
So wherever you put, it will remain there.
Okay.
Initially, whatever, if you change that class to this class initially, it will remain there. From this intelligent tiering, the only thing is it will go to this or that. For this third one, right? So you have the option. Third one, it will go based on the access, how you are accessing it. So third, if you put in intelligent tiering, it will go to this or that. But if you put in any other thing, what will happen? It will remain there only. So this is good, right? This life cycle policy.
Yeah.
Right. So just take a look at this, right? At the cost optimization part, right? So it talks about data organization, right? About the right sizing, about monitoring, analyzing, and optimizing the data, about the requirement from the application, right? So we have to focus on these points, right? Where we want to keep our objects, right? In which storage class, right? So look at the size, object size, right? Or the duration. So what is the size of the object, right? What is, how much, how huge it is, how much cost, based on that. Say like its size is less, size is small, then cost will be less, storage cost will be less, correct? Now duration, for how long you are going to keep that, right? If you are keeping for a longer duration, what will happen? You'll be paying for it, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to keep for 5 years and then you are keeping in a standard one, if you don't want like that, so then it is more cost, right?
Yeah.
Redundancy, how much redundancy you are looking for, right? So it will be one zone is enough, or you want in 3 zones, right? So availability, you want 99.99 or you want 99.9 or you want 99.5. So how much available you want, or you don't want it to be immediately accessible. So based on all those things, you have to choose the storage class so that you can save on the cost. Access frequency, how frequently you want to access. Performance, whether you want very good performance, right, or you don't want very much performance. Or object tags and prefixes. You see, this is specifically I have mentioned, because if you put the object tags and prefixes, so based on that you can define this particular life cycle policy, right? So that is also important here. Now best storage class, you have to choose the best storage class, right, depending on lot of factors, right? Whatever is the suitable class for that particular type of data. Storage class analysis. So next is like you cannot simply put it and then you can forget it, right? So you can analyze from time to time, right? So whether this particular class is still holding good for that particular type of data, or we should move it to another class or something. So we should do certain analysis also from time to time. Life cycle policy. So this if we use, then we can automate say like if we forget, right? So we have the lifecycle policy which will take care of things. Intelligent tiering, right? So that is useful, right? So whenever you have unknown type of data, right? So you can go for intelligent tiering. Now look at this snowball service, right? Look at this box, right? See this? So what is snowball service? By this box, what does it look? Some kind of
data.
Yeah, in this box you can put some data.
Yeah.
Correct, no?
I think it's a
So
container.
yeah, so you just see here handle two types. That means it is heavy.
Yeah.
So it is very strong and robust, no container, right? As the Raman told, right? So this particular snowball service is a kind of data migration service. You can migrate data from one place to another place, right? So as the name suggests, right? So save time and money, fast data transfer, S3 compatible endpoint for object storage, block storage, NFS endpoint, encryption, rugged and portable. Now, AWS, right, provides you this option, the snowball option, right, for migrating data, right, and it provides you very portable, robust, secure, right? So that kind of device it is where you have the, this is called AWS Snowball, right? Or AWS Snowball Edge device, right? So this is Snowball device where it will transfer large amount of data, right? That you don't want to do online. See, huge data, right? If you transfer physically, right? So if you, there can be various situation where it will be challenging for us to do it online, right? So if you want to, here you see that this truck going from S3 to on-site data, your on-site data center or something, and this side another truck, it is taking the data to S3, right? So S3 to on-site, on-site to S3, right? AWS to outside and outside to AWS, right? So like that, if we want any situation, right? So we can have different types of snowball edge devices. So there will be some storage optimized and compute optimized, right? So there will be two types
But
of
these ones
devices.
are so how to ensure that if there is some
Yeah, tell me.
hello,
Yeah. Go ahead, please.
if something happened during travel, how to if something happened during travel, right? How to secure this one?
They have a lot of mechanism actually, right? So very secure, and they will have
No, actually, for example, actually I have a data like I have a database like with 300 TB
Yep,
terabyte.
yep.
So which is very difficult to suppose if I want to migrate my application into AWS, right, from
Yep,
on-premise to AWS, right?
correct.
So it will have a 300 terabyte data. So if we do it online, it will be very time consuming until delay. I don't know this
Correct.
much data when this will be complete to move to AWS.
Yes.
So if you use this container and sending it, right, so I think we need to keep some backup also and sending it, right. So because it looks like we are unmount the hardware. I mean the device, that hard disk, right? Unmount hard disk, and then
No.
we are putting in this
No, no, no,
snowball
no,
and
no.
sending it.
No. We are not unmounting our hard disk or something. See, it's like
Uh-huh.
yeah. We are not unmounting our hard disk or something. So we are we have the kind of LAN cable, RJ45 connector, right?
Locally, we
RJ45.
have to
That
copy it and then put send it.
through that, yeah. Your data will be there. What you have to
Uh-huh.
do, say like you have you just create a job request.
We take copy and send it. Is it?
Yeah, you just create a job request to Amazon. Okay. You just create a job request to Amazon, right? So what they will do, the device you saw, right? Hello. Am I
Yes,
audible?
Harish.
Yeah, audible, right? So Depends on how much
Yes,
data
yes.
you are having.
Yeah.
So you will have different types of options, right? How much data you have to copy, how much data you want to transfer, right? So depending on that, so what you will do, you will just raise a job request to AWS, right? They will prepare some kind of device for you. They will make it ready, right? And you will have option for say like you want it tomorrow or you want it day after tomorrow, right? So based on that, know how soon you want it, so you will have some shipping option. How you are ordering stuffs from amazon.com, right? Amazon.in. Similarly, you order this device, you create a job request, right, to the support, and then they will know one device or two device or three devices based on the size of data that you are having, right? You just select the shipping option, right? You want it in 1 day delivery, 2 day delivery, whatever, right? So based on that, you just order it and they will ship it to you. Okay, so they will ship it, right? Then you just receive this device and then you connect that device through the LAN cable. So you'll have that RJ45 that you are having, that you are connecting your system with the router, no? RJ45 connected there, right? That LAN cable.
Yeah.
Right? So with that, you connect it to your server. Right? So wherever your data is there, you just connect to that, right? And then with that data will be copied here, right? From that to this device, right? So you do the data transfer. So in the next step, do the data transfer. So when the data is transferred, so just say transfer data, right? Then what next? Again ship it back.
Yes.
Ship to AWS people.
AWS.
Right? Now, what AWS people will do? They'll put it in S3. Understood?
Yeah.
Dharma, you understood the process? Dharma?
Yeah, yes, Happy.
Right?
Yes, yes.
So, just starting from the job creation request and then all these steps you have to follow, and then finally, they will put it there in S3 directly, right? So, what happens here? You have to decide, right? Say like how much data you are having. So you
Whether
have
this
that.
happens physically?
Yeah, physically. So you have this snowball edge, that devices. So you have like two different types of things. One will be storage optimized, and no, another will be compute optimized. Okay, compute related to performance.
Yes.
This is related to storage. So storage optimized, compute optimized. Right. So now
So
you
here
have to.
we have some kind of less security, right? So
Pardon?
say example, if it may be theft or anything may happen.
Nothing. I'll tell you. I'll explain you.
Okay.
So now you have the storage optimized one, right? So you have this. Say like you have option for 40 vCPUs here. Okay. You have 80 terabyte of the size. Okay.
Yeah.
Now just think. Actually, it will be 100 terabyte. So some 20 terabyte will be reserved, and actual space that you get is say like 80 terabyte. So now you have 80 terabyte. This is HDD type. This is hardware storage optimized, right? So this will be bigger, right, as compared to this is compute one. So this is normal HDD, where this is like 80 terabyte, and this is S3 compatible, right? For storage, object storage and all. So now you have this one. Now if you go for this compute optimize, here you have like 40 vCPUs. So 52. Here 40, no? Here 52. Now this will be say like 42 terabyte. Right? Now actually maybe 50 or something. So 42 terabyte useful. So what happens here is, here you have option for GPU also. Graphics processing unit is there, no? So apart from that, you have option for GPU also, right? So 42 terabyte, no, that size. So what happens? You have a massive data which you cannot think of no transferring through the wire, right? Now you have to pay for that transfer also, right?
Yeah.
Say like it depends like which area you are, bandwidth cost, right? So what kind of internet connection you are having, right? So how much is the bandwidth? Okay, so say like your bandwidth is not too much, and you have your plan, monthly plan. Say like sometime you are taking the monthly plan 100 GB data. Okay,
Yeah.
so you are limited there. Now there may be some limit of 1000 GB. There might be unlimited data, right? What kind of bandwidth the customer is having, right? If they use more than that, it might be very costly option for them, right? There might be situation where they don't have internet only. Possible? Internet is not there. Possible?
No.
Yes, yes,
Not
possible.
possible. Possible. They are in a ship. Okay. Ship. I am really sorry about that. Think of this as a ship.
Okay.
So they are there in this ocean for 6 months or 1 year. And there is no internet connection. They're traveling here and there.
Yes.
Possible? They are on a hill. Okay? On a hill. Minus 50 degree Celsius. Possible? Hello? Nataraj.
Maybe no.
There are some military people. They are there, no, in
Hello, hello. Yeah, sorry. It's connection. Yeah.
Himalayas.
So you see military camps and lot of places where they are so far away from us.
Yes.
We simply think from our perspective, right? So you think of Siachen Glacier, right? How remote and how people are staying there, how they are surviving there. So think of a situation, area where military people, our border force people, right? This ITBP, Indo-Tibet border police, or such kind of people who are paramilitary people, and how they are staying in so far away places, and then they have to operate on certain things. How they will transfer things? They don't have internet.
Yes.
They don't have phone connections to talk to their families, right?
Yes. Yes.
So in such situations, when there is no internet, and if it is a critical data, right, that needs to be transferred without the internet, you have no choice,
Yes.
right? So think of such situations. Say like internet is there, but maybe poor internet. Intermittent connection issues are happening, for us also.
Yes.
Good connection is not there, right?
Yes.
So poor internet.
Got it.
Think of such situations, right? So what will happen? And now, so some remote factory or something they have set up, or somewhere very far away or something. So what happens in this snow family, right? You have different options, right? So you will have some kind of snow cone, some kind of snowball, some kind of snow mobile or something. So I will just show you, right? I will let's go to the site somewhere, and let me just search for aws.amazon.com, right? Usually this is
Yeah.
like this. If you do aws.amazon.com / if you try to put something, say like S3, if you put, you will find some information related to S3 for sure. You see, came, right?
Yeah.
Now, accordingly, if you simply say try aws.amazon.com / say like snowball, correct? You just say snowball, you see something comes. It came, right?
Yes.
Good, no?
Yeah.
So what happens is this document are very nicely kept, and URLs are quite uniform. Say like S3, say like today you want to know about S3, you want to understand about storage classes, how it works, all those things you want to revise, use cases, right? DR, archival, backup, hybrid, which companies who all are using it. So just you want to look at it, simply go to this S3, right? Here you see storage classes,
Yes.
right? So you can refer to it, you can recall it, whatever we are discussing, you can go in depth, you can gain in-depth knowledge here, right? So you can just
Yes.
see all those options, whatever we have been discussing, lot of options are there. So how information is kept here, unknown on changing access, you can relate, okay, so Harish was telling about intelligent tiering, right? Infrequent access thing, right? So you understood how to come to this page,
Yes. Yes.
right? So like this, you just recall, revise, right, and find out information. Similarly, just for Snowball, right, you just come here, you see about this, you have AWS Snow family, right? So you just go through this information, some basic information, whatever you understand, that much only is enough, right? So no need to no. So just go to Snow family, you just see here, we'll have Snow family overview. So these are quite detailed things. See, some video is there. You just go through this 2 minutes of 46 seconds of video, it will give you good clarity, good situation where this is useful. Snow family members, snow cone, snowball, snow mobile, like that, so lot of options. Do you see this photo here? You just see this photo here. No, that is gone actually. So just try to go through some videos, right? So you see, look at this photo, right? So how they are carrying, right? How they are, going through all these things, right? So what happens exactly is, right? They will have that container, right? That container, right? They will put in this particular, this one, this big vehicle, okay?
Mhm.
Now there will be GPS tracking for this, okay? There will be CCTV monitored, that kept in that. I can't find some more photos or something, right? So just look at it, just try to find out. You will see some pictures, it will give you a lot of clarity. Where what they do is, I'll tell you what they do. They will have very long shipping container, right? And then they have GPS tracking, they have CCTV, they have security guards in that.
Mhm.
Okay. And for bigger ones, right? They will have some kind of PCR. Police will be there, no? Like how we are having.
Yes.
How VIP is traveling, no? How if PM is traveling, how they will travel, right? If CM is traveling, how they will travel, right? So they will have some security, right?
Yes.
Accordingly, these vehicles will have some kind of security vehicles escorting them. Understood?
Yeah.
So it's not prone to data theft or some kind of issue or something. Very much security will be there, very high security. One apart from this, there will be one more vehicle in which some security guards, some police, some personnel with guns. They will be there to protect the data. It's not like very unsecure or something. Very secure. Okay. Still, if you are putting some data here, if that data, if you are not able to retrieve, anyways, you have the original data kept in your location, right? Because you have done a copy, right? You've just done a copy, right? So there is nothing like, you can compare the features, right? For all these things, you see feature comparison, how much is storage, how much is the requirement for you, right? So how much data you want to transfer, right? So you can just do a basic comparison. You see here some GPU, that Snowball Edge compute optimized, you have that graphics processing unit as well, right? So a lot of features are there. Just take a look at it, right? Just basic understanding you should have. You don't have to remember so much, but yep, some like which one is used, or storage optimized 80 terabyte or something, 42 terabyte.
Harish,
You,
this
tell me, Dharma.
Hari,
Tell me, Dharma.
yeah. So these are all this chargeable. chargeable
Yes,
to carry
yes,
this
yes,
data
yes,
to
yes,
on-site or some other places? Is it
yes,
chargeable?
yes, 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 definitely.
Okay.
It will be, you know,
Mhm.
you have to pay for
Suppose,
everything.
suppose if I say I want to move my data from no, no, if I
Yes,
want to move from my data from on-premise to AWS, right? So
correct.
I think that will be okay.
You have to raise case, right? And then you have to know, once you create the job request, and then you have to go through it. So you have options, right, for doing that. And then there will be charges, right, for each and everything accordingly. How much, how many devices you are taking. There will be no timelines, right? So see RJ45 connector, right, that we will taking that Gbit, right? So how they are connecting and then, you know, transferring data, right? So like that it will happen. Just go through some videos so that no, you will have more clarity. Okay. So this FAQ sections, right, you will find in most of the places, right? These are very much valuable even from the understanding perspective and also from the certification perspective, right? So many kinds of doubts and lot of things are there, right, which will be cleared if you go through the FAQs, right? So many information you don't have to Google and find out on another websites or another people what they say, right? So far better than that, and most reliable information you can find in FAQ, right? So most of the questions will be, you know, covered here. What is Snow family? What are the use cases, right? And then data center relocation you are doing or some kind of collection you are doing, right? Why do I need Snow family services, right? It's cost effective, right? So which one is best for me, right? Multiple options are there. How quickly I can do this, right? So you can see 100 terabyte in about a week, right? So all those kind of basic information, right? So you will find in FAQ section. So how you can go to FAQ section? I'll just tell you a trick. So what was our URL here?
Amazon.
aws.com/snowball/FAQ. Just try this out. Oh, sorry. That didn't work. Okay, so just go to Snowball. Don't go to Snowball FAQ. Go to Snowball. Here you will have somewhere FAQ. You see here.
Yeah.
So go like this. FAQs. Okay, you see? My bad. So what I typed was FAQ. That's why it didn't work. You can just type FAQs plural and it comes. See? Right? So trick. Right? Otherwise, you can simply go to that Snowball, and from there you can just go through features, pricing. You see pricing, Dharma, you were asking, right? Dharma, you're still
Yeah,
there?
yes, sir.
Yeah. So you will have pricing everywhere
Yes,
for
sir.
everything. You will have pricing for S3. You just go to pricing, right? So you don't have to remember the price, but you should always understand which one is
Okay.
costlier. So if you say like S3 standard class is there, so first 50 terabyte you have to pay 0.023 per GB. Next one is little bit cheaper. Next 450 terabyte, and then next over 500 terabyte it is little more cheaper. If you just look at the infrequent one here, so that is like 0.023, and the infrequent access one is 0.012. Cheaper, right?
Yes.
That was 0.23. This is 0.1 only. 0.1. That was 0.02. So obviously this infrequent access is cheaper, right? Intelligent tiering, you see, that will depend on what? Obviously infrequent access cost, frequent access cost. So that will be like that only. So infrequent access cost like this. So little bit of extra cost, some no kind of thing you will be paying basic. Otherwise, no, it will be automatic cost saving for data with unknown or changing access pattern. If you just look at the 1June, Glacier, Deep Archive, right? So you see the cost. You see the cost, how less it is. This is the least one, lowest one, right? The Deep Archive, the cheapest one, right? So just try starting, exploring things on AWS document page, right? Just go through some, have some basic understanding of which one is costlier than, which one is cheaper, and which one we should use, like that. Those kind of information, and again, for other things also, some kind of pricing, some basic understanding you can have for data transfer. What is the thing, right? From S3 to data transfer in to Amazon S3 is 0 per GB free, right? Data transfer out of S3 is priced by region. Right? So shipping, right? Shipping rates, whatever courier rate will be there. So like that you can do the shipping, right? Data transfer in, and another thing, service free fee per job, right? So like that, 62% for these 3 years commitments, like that. So a lot of things are there. Now pricing for Snowball Edge storage optimized data transfer, UN Virginia, this one for Ohio region, this much. So most of the thing you see $300. Some places you see for Milan it is $400, right? Here it is 40, 30, 30. So some differences may be there, right? So like that you have the cost for Captown, it is like 400. So you can just see, look at the pricing, have some basic understanding, right? But at least you should have some basic understanding of what is Snowball, right? Okay, so let's take a break, right? You are 10 minutes beyond the time, right? So let's take a break and come back and meet in another 15 minutes. I'll set a timer, right? And you can be on mute, and we'll come back and meet again. Okay.